dividing a number by 2. Now, to divide a number by 2, first you have to know whether the number is divisible by 2 or not. And how do we know whether a number is divisible by 2? We can test that by using this trick. A number is divisible by 2 if the number ends with an even number or 0. And so if you write any number and that number ends with an even number, then you can be sure that that number is divisible by 2. For example, if I write 118, because this number ends with 8, it means it's a number that can be divided by 2 without a remainder. If I write 21573, this number is not divisible by 2 because it ends with 3. But if this same number, I replace it by, let's say, 4, then I'm going to have 21,574. This is an even number because it ends with an even number, and so we can divide it by 2 without a remainder. Now, how do we divide a number by 2? Every number that you divide by 2 will always end with a whole number or a decimal with 0.5. If I give you like 12 divided by 2, you get a whole number which is 6, because the 12 is an even number or is divisible by 2. If I give you 13, which is not divisible by 2, you divide it and you get 6.5. It will end with a decimal with 0.5. So always a number divisible by 2 will either end with a whole number or end with a decimal of 0.5. And so when a question is given to you, ask yourself whether the number you are going to divide by 2 is an even number or odd number. If it is an even number like 8 divided by 2, there's no problem. You can only split 8 into 2 and get 4. That is cool. If it is 12 divided by 2, no problem. You know you can split that and you get 6. But as the number grows, 24 divided by 2, which of course we know it is 12 for now, but if it becomes more difficult for you, this is what you do. The trick is that if you have 24 divided by 2, write it the same as 20 plus 4, and that will give you 24. Divide 20 by 2, which is very cool because it comes with tens, and divide 4 also by 2. The result you only add there. 20 divided by 2 will give you 10. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and so you add the 2 and then a 10, and the result becomes the 12. That's a simple way of doing this mentally. If I give you a number like 78, and I ask you to divide 78 by 2, because 78 is an even number or it is divisible by 2 because of the last 8 value here, what you do is that you are assuming the 78 as 7 plus 8, which of course is very cool. 70 divided by 2 is like we are splitting 70 into 2, and then 8 also divided by 2. The first will give you 35, the second will give you 4. 35 plus 4 will give you 39. And for that matter, 78 divided by 2 is 39. And that is very cool, isn't it? If I give you a number like 98 divided by 2, and it looks so big for you to do, you can split 98 as 90 plus 8. Mentally, it means you are doing the division in the form of just addition, a simple addition. Okay, if 90 is so big for you to think of dividing it by 2, you can still write 90 as, let's say, 40 plus 30 plus 50, which will give you 90 plus 8. So you can see this also that way. Now, each of them can be divided by 2 now, very friendly. So for the 40 divided by 2, you know it's going to give you 20. So you can do this mentally. And here we have 25, and you have 4. Now adding 20, 25, and 4 mentally is very cool. Which you have 20 plus 25, which is 45 plus 4, and that will give you 49. Which means 98 divided by 2 is 49. Now let's look at it when the number is not exactly divisible by 2. Let's say I have 78, which is divided by 77 divided by 2. How do we do this quickly, mentally, without struggling? Because it is odd number, always have it in mind that you're going to end with 0.5, always 0.5. So what you do is that you subtract 1 from 77, then you have 76 mentally. Now deal with the 76, which is the same as writing 70 plus 6. And you know you can divide 70 by 2 and 6 also by 2. Now 70 divided by 2 will give you 35. 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. So you have plus 3 here. And the result will give you 38 if you put them together. And so finally 77 divided by 2 will be 38. Because it's odd number, you use a 0.5. And so the answer becomes 78.5. And when you practice this continuously, you'll be able to do division by 2 without struggling or put it on paper or pen and paper. There's no need for you to go through long division for this. You can do this without using long division. Finally, let's try maybe 2-digit number, 235 divided by 2. How fast can we do this? We can do this mentally by breaking this number into 200 plus 30 plus 5. Right. And moreover, if we think of subtracting 1 from this particular number because it is odd number, we could write 4 over here. And so we, instead of writing 235, we'll say 234, knowing very well that our final answer will be 0.5. Right. Now we know we can divide here by 2 quickly mentally, and that will give us 100. Here by 2 will give us 15. Here by 2 will give us 2. And so we have 100 plus 15. Mentally we can say 115 plus 2, 117. So the final answer will be 117.5. And so what 235 divided by 2 will give us 117.5. And with practice, we can do this mentally without putting it on paper. So that is for division of 2. Try the following mentally without using pen and paper and see how fast you can go. You can pause the video and say the answers mentally, and that will help you to know how far you've been able to learn this.